Hey, what's good guys? This is Chris from WearTesters.com. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we are back here in Folsom, California at Lifetime. And today we have the performance review on these bad boys right here. This is the PUMA Clyde Hardwood. Now before we get into the sneaker, we do want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, which is Lifetime over here in Folsom, California. Not only is this one of the nicest basketball gyms that I've played in, this is 2 NBA style basketball courts, which is awesome. One of the coolest things that you get as a perk of being a member here at Lifetime is that you are able to join their Ultimate Hoops Rec League. And the Ultimate Hoops Rec League is literally Ultimate Hoops right here, where this is their own saying, this is not my saying, but they treat average Joes like pros. And I think that that's a really cool thing, because when you look at everything that they offer you within their Ultimate Hoops package, it's freaking awesome. It's incredible. Not only do you have teams on there, you have player profiles, full on stats, not just your points made and how many fouls you were until you fouled out. I'm talking about all the stats. They literally treat you like a pro game. It's really cool. You can join as a team, or you can be a free agent and get picked up by one of the teams throughout the season. So if you're not 100% ready to commit to a squad, you could just be like, yo, if you need me, if you need an assassin, a silent assassin on the floor, I'm your guy. And one of my favorite things that you actually get as part of the Ultimate Hoops package is whoever wins, you get a banner up in the rafters. It's super cool. If you were interested in joining Lifetime, whether it be just for the fitness portion or for the Ultimate Hoops portion, we will leave links down below in the description box for all of you guys to check out. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into it. So first things first, this is the traction pattern. We got a little bit of everything. We've got herringbone. Not only do we have herringbone, but it's pointing in multiple different directions. So whether you got step backs, linear traction, all that stuff, you're pretty much covered. This guy right there is great for lateral movements, push-offs, and running around screens. Then you have somewhat of a traditional setup at the back area, which I surprisingly use a little bit. I never knew. Somebody must have crossed my ass up so hard, because look at that, it broke some of the traction off. But this stuff right here, I actually had predicted that it was going to be amazing traction, and it was. Now before we get into more detail on the traction, we're back at my favorite part. We're gonna go over fit just a little bit, get my Mr. Rogers on. So if you guys wanted to be my neighbor, be my guest. So these guys right here, they actually fit a little bit long, and I was kind of like hesitant on that at first. It wasn't until I actually warmed up in the pair that PUMA sent us. Big thank you to PUMA, by the way, I greatly appreciate that. But it wasn't until I was warming up in those things where I was like, man, these things fit just long enough to where I'm not comfortable playing in them. So what I ended up doing is going to a retail store, grab the pair and a half a size down, and these guys right here fit me perfectly. So with the half a size down, my toe is right at the edge, which is personally where I like it. And the reason why I really wanted to go half a size down is because this area right here, this fabric-y textile, this stuff actually stretches a little bit. So again, with going half a size down, I'm able to compensate for that extra length and also any kind of like sloppiness within the fit. There are nylon cables right here, which are great for when you tie that up, because that's really, tied into the Strobel board down there, which is going to really help harness that forefoot section for any lateral movements. The downside is that you can feel the nylon cables the harder that you pull on them. Sometimes there's a little bit of a pinky toe chafing, which is, a dreaded thing amongst basketball players. So I wish that this leather actually went all the way down just for that, because I would have rather have had these normal eye stays than these nylon strands right there, or have nylon strands in between leather and maybe a softer textile inside for some padding. And for anybody wondering, yes, I am wearing no-show socks. Why? Because they are Strideline performance socks, and I love these, and I'm able to wear them with these shoes without the collars of the shoes chafing my feet and my ankles up. So anytime I'm able to wear no-shows, I do. And some people think that I'm crazy, but it's all about personal preference, whatever makes you comfortable on the court. So I couldn't give two what other people say about my sock wear, because it's not the socks, okay? It's your skills. So now that I've grabbed my ball from my ball rack of balls for days over there, I love that thing. That's probably one of my favorite features of Lifetime, besides the actual court itself and the size, that there's so many balls here, you don't even have to bring your own, even though I always do anyways, but just in case. No slick jokes? No, that's what she said? None of that stuff? Cool. I guess we're keeping her. Now going back to the traction on these guys, the rubber compound on these things is just super grippy, super tacky. The downside to that is that when you have a lot of dust on the floor, it finds its way to the outsole. However, every other floor that I've played on besides that one dusty one, these guys have gripped incredibly well, where I don't need to wipe or pretty much worry about them whatsoever. It's such a great feeling to have traction like this that's super reliable, and it's been durable on top of that, minus that heel section where somebody clearly crossed the out of me. But other than that, it's been great. And again, the traction is in multiple directions everywhere. So it doesn't matter what kind of footwork you have. It doesn't matter what kind of move you're doing. It doesn't matter if you're, Boogie Cousins down there in the post, even though he's injured, but or if you're Kyle Kuzma doing what Kuzma does. But it doesn't matter what you're doing. The traction right here has just got your back. And I love that. It's very, very reliable. That's not in. Now the cushion on these guys is what they're called Pro Foam. I don't know what that means. I just know that it's a marketing term and it doesn't feel great. That's the one downside to the shoe, is that the cushion itself is super basic. So it's not their energy and ignite system that they have featured on the previous signature model, which is the PUMA Clyde Court. Instead, what the Hardwood uses again is their Pro Foam, super basic foam. So I'm kind of surprised at the way that they set it up. They pretty much wrap the entire lateral side of this foam with this clear rubbery TPU stuff, which I don't feel like it needs. It's kind of like a bottom heavy setup. It wraps around to the heel on the other side, or the medial side stuff. There's not a ton of compression with it. There's just enough to give you a little bit of cushion. So this is mostly a kind of like stability setup. I wouldn't say it's like quite as firm as a Curry shoe, but it's pretty damn close. Now, one of the pros to having this wrap right here is that it does wrap up a little bit, but that's gonna kind of cup and cage your foot, because your foot does rest right on the midsole there. The forefoot of the midsole, you can see it. It is not very high off the floor. There is a heel to toe drop, but it's not anything drastic. It's pretty much standard. This is a much lower sitting shoe than the Clyde Court as well. So I like that. You get a little bit more court feel. You don't feel as elevated on the floor. And this is perfect, again, pretty much for anybody. This is probably going to be a shoe that I'm going to test the boost insoles, the Hefe Lux and all that stuff, so stay tuned for that. We'll do that in a few weeks. Now the materials are pretty much the materials and the looks. Looks are not a performance feature. I never really talk about them unless a shoe is like really, really pretty or really, really ugly. This guy just happens, in my opinion, happens to be really, really pretty. I just think that this is like the best looking basketball shoe that we've had in the basketball category in years, and it's because of the materials. The materials are amazing. So what we have here is a colorway that is clearly going to get dirty. The initial 3 are, so just deal with that. There are going to be other colorways coming soon, so if you are interested in these guys, just be patient. But what we have here is, I would say, an old school setup on the back, and it's literally cut in half right here. So this entire back half is much like a PUMA Clyde shoe, and then the forefoot right here is much like last year's model, the Clyde Court, or like what you would see on modern shoes with knits, textiles, and all that stuff. And again, this material right here does stretch just a little bit, so these nylon cables really do their job. You can feel it on your feet, and then this little lip right here kind of like saves the shoe. That was one of the things on the Clyde Court that I did not like. I wish that it had a bigger raised edge, because sometimes you would go over the footbed. This guy right here, you can see this is just with some light pressure. I'm not actually doing any move or anything like that, but you can see that with some pressure, you're going to go over the footbed a little bit, and this sidewall and these 2 little cables right there do all the work keeping you on the footbed, so that you don't feel like you're ever gonna roll an ankle or shift off the floor and all that stuff. But the materials feel so nice. Like, it's just one of those things where it's so good that you have to let out a
That's what she said.
The emphasis on that is just amazing. Now the fit on these guys, again, I went down half a size. Initially I was sent a pair that was true to size. I think casual wearers are gonna be perfectly fine with that, but if you want a nice, snug, secure fit for basketball, down half a size is what I went with, and again, I'm really happy with that, so I'm glad that I did this. I love this shoe so much that I'm gonna go buy another one. Just don't tell my wife that. Now the lockdown on these guys is really good as well. I know that they're a low top, they look scary, but it's perfectly fine, don't worry. Your ankle is the thing that supports your body, not the shoes. The shoes help, but it's not like a end all be all and all of that stuff. So again, you have these 2 little cables right there. They go right down in the footbed. Wish there was a little bit more leather for some buffer between your toes and the nylon, but it's not a big deal. And then we have these traditional just punched holes in the eye stay area for some eyelets. And this area right here, I just feel so nice and secure. It's also part of the leather too. This is like a second skin on your foot, so it just feels very natural and form-fitting. And then the rest of the support is coming from this heel counter right there. It does extend to the medial side, so it's much like an older Kobe, like a Kobe 6, Kobe 7 even. It feels amazing. And then one last thing for the support is also stability. And that comes from having this really nice flat base. It's not rounded or anything like that. It's just a very nice, stable platform. It does come out just a little bit, not anything crazy, so it doesn't have a traditional modern outrigger, but it has just enough on there to keep you covered and all that stuff from lateral movements. But no, that takes care of it for the performance review on these guys right here. I think that they are just a really great shoe. It's something that basketball is missing right now, the basketball category, and I'm glad that somebody's doing it. And what I'm talking about is premium materials, giving you a premium feeling shoe that actually performs and stuff. It's not anything where you're like, oh man, I wish they look good and play good. This is that shoe. It is literally that shoe, and they don't break the bank either. $120, solid price. If you find them on discount, even better. We do have a pair, by the way. The pair that they sent, it's size 9, and we are giving them away to one of our Discord members. So shout out to our WearTesters Discord community. If you wanted to help support the channel, click the link in the description box below. It'll send you over to WearTesters.com where you can read all about what it means to be a Discord member, because they're the reasons why when a shoe doesn't fit, I'm able to go buy another one, because they kind of help us out in that way. Also, big thank you to Lifetime for letting us use their facilities here. It's an amazing facility. Again, this is the Folsom location. They are nationwide though. They got them pretty much everywhere, but that pretty much takes care of it. If you were interested in any more information on these shoes, there is going to be another link, lots of links. They're right down there in the description box. It'll be written and detailed. There will also be a scorecard on there. If you need any more information, you can hit me up directly, like personally, at our WearTesters Discord, and I will answer any questions that I may have missed or whatever about these shoes. Is that pretty much everything? Did I cover everything? Everything, because she's my eyes and ears, okay? So if I mess up, it's her fault. What? Anyways, that pretty much takes care of it. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all the support. And until next time, guys, have a good one.